Welcome back to Age of Radio Mercury, your home for podcasting and pop culture news. We are live here today at LibCon West in sunny Glendale, Arizona, the best city in all of Arizona. My family's had businesses here for years, and I'm super excited to continue that entrepreneur tradition with Age of Radio. But enough about me. Let's talk about Brent. This is our friend Brent. We have actually met him at two of our famous vendor walkthroughs. I don't remember which two events that they were. I think one was at this event last year.
Yeah.
That's probably true. And there was another event before that. Was it Comic Con?
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked to Brent during vendor walkthrough at Comic Con one year and also at LibCon West, which was at a different library last year. But Brent is an author, and I know nothing more about him than that and the little bit of conversation that I've had with him at these vendor walkthroughs. So I wanted to sit down with Brent because he's my new friend and talk to him a little bit about his adventure into writing, what he's been writing, and what some of his books are about. So, to get us kicked off with this, Brent, how are you doing today on this gorgeous Saturday in Glendale?
I'm great. Woke up this morning, drove to Glendale. I'm from Tucson.
Oh my gosh, you're
So-
from Tucson?
yeah.
That's a long drive. What time did you wake up?
Early. No, like 7. Wasn't too
Oh,
bad.
it's 7. I woke up at 6,
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
still got here late. What the heck's going on? I'm going to blame Trey because I had to go pick up Trey. All right. So the drive was good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how often do you? Let's start with this before we go into your background. Do you come to? How often do you come to the events here? Do you also do? Were you at Tucson Comic Con?
I was, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Yeah,
So we should have done a better job walking
We,
around.
we were hidden in this little corner.
Yeah.
Like, actually right by the stairs. But it was weird because you'd think that there was more traffic. But, yeah, it was...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So do you always come up and do this LibCon West one?
Last year I started because I found out about it. And, I intend to. Yeah, I like to come as much as I can. It's not too bad of a drive, so... Yeah.
Yeah. I drove down there for Tucson Comic Con with Chuck and Joey, and then both of them somehow found a way to drive back, not driving in my car. So it must have something to do with my drive. Is
There
what my
you
guess
go.
is. I'm just kidding. So let's talk about. You have 3 books. Is that accurate, or do you have more books? I have 3
Yeah.
books that are sitting right here, which
Yep.
we'll talk about in a minute. But so how many books have you written?
Yeah, so I brought 3 because these are the first in each series. I've actually published, I think, 17 now.
17 books.
Yeah.
Self-published.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. Hit me, Dustin. Okay, okay, good. He threw with the amazing, supposedly. So walk me through your background. What do you have a background in writing? What got you into writing? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's I think an interesting story. When I was 13, I was in school English class, and my teacher was giving us a lecture on the importance of outlining, and basically told us no one has ever written a good book without an outline. And I was like, okay, challenge accepted. So I started writing out of spite. I had no inkling that this would be a dream or a passion, right? And looking back, the signs were there because I wrote, like in 6th grade, we had this paper, and they're like, write 2 pages, and I wrote like 15. So it was always there in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, I took that as a challenge and really dove into writing a full book. And I've
Okay.
been writing since. I published my first book at 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so have you never written an outline for any of your books then?
No, I
Okay.
haven't.
So talk to me about that process. So you have an English teacher that tells you, okay, I need to sit down and write out an outline of everything that's supposed to happen throughout the book, kind of get that organized and follow that outline to make the book. So that's a process, right? So do you have a process then that you use to make your books?
Yeah, so I call my books character-driven stories, right? And every author's a little bit different. There's like pantsing and plotting, I think. Plotters and pantsers.
Okay.
So some people do have strict outlines, and then some people have absolutely none. I've kind of found a balance. I do kind of have a general idea of what's going to happen in each chapter, but for the most part, I keep it really open because the characters are what drives the story. And if I get to a point, I don't want to be backed into a corner of, this was my plan, so the character has to do this. And I just let them make decisions that feel natural and then face those consequences. Um, so I come up with the character, their kind of core personality traits. I put them in the world, and then I know where I want the story to end and what themes I want to share. And then the character just kind of goes on the journey.
So it sounds like that when you start doing the writing, you're doing it from the character's perspective, and then as the character gets developed and the character makes decisions, then you kind of find out how that's going to play out throughout the story.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And so do you run into problems with that?
Yeah, definitely there are times like varying degrees of problems, right? Of I write in plot holes. We all like have
Right.
to work around
Okay.
those, and so
Yep.
I'll have to go back and edit. Or sometimes my characters make stupid decisions because, like in Cursed, the character's 17, and he's not like he's not dumb. He's a kid, right?
Right.
And so there are a couple points in there where I've had readers and friends tell me like, why would he do this? This was dumb, and I'm like, I don't know, because he did.
Because he did, and he's a 17-year-old kid,
Yeah.
and this is probably something that he would do.
Right.
Okay, so what is one of these books that you have for us here? Is one of these your first ones, or
Sure. Yeah. So I actually.
Or let me real quick before you
Yeah.
sorry to cut you off,
No.
but before you go into that, do you do them as series? Like, are they series?
Yeah. Series is yeah.
Yeah, they're series. Okay, so is one of these from your first series?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, or technically no. When I was 16, I published a book called The Z Virus. It was a zombie book, and it is still available, but I don't have a ton of copies of that one.
Okay.
We went through like a hybrid publishing firm, and that was a whole experience. And then I kind of stopped, and I went to college and got more knowledge, more experience. And then right around when I was wrapping up college, so I think this Cursed was 2019.
Okay.
And that's when I started with like jumping back into it. So Cursed is my first series since jumping back in from that first book.
Got it. So you made that first book, and then you jump back into it with Cursed.
Yeah.
So real quick before we jump into Cursed, did you go to school for English or for writing, or what did you go to school for?
Yeah. So I and I want to preface this with this is not life advice because
And I'm going to preface this with anything that we say on here is life advice, and that's what you guys should 100% do, no matter what other disclaimer they say. I'm just kidding.
no, because I always have like respect for people who can just with reckless abandon chase their dreams, right? But I'm very reserved, and I knew that writing was very hit or miss. So I went to school for something that would be less, volatile.
Like risky,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep.
You went and got a degree in a safe area. So what is that area?
Biomedical engineering.
Fantastic. So are you a biomedical engineer by day and then a crime fighter writer by night?
Nope.
Okay.
Went to school for engineering, for biomedical. My first job was as a mechanical engineer,
Okay.
and then I transitioned to engineering project management. So
Okay.
that's what I do now is tell other people what to do.
Fantastic. We need more of that where we work. You can tell, well, I'll get you hired. I'm going to give you
Yeah.
Dustin's email, and I just need you to email Dustin stuff to do that's relevant to whatever you
Right.
want it to be for. I'm just kidding. Okay, so you go to school for the engineering. You do project management engineering now. You tell people what to do. Sounds like an amazing job.
Love
You
it.
probably get paid really well for it. Do you think if you decided to stop that, your books could cover your lifestyle?
Oh no.
No.
Not yet. And that's the dream, right? That's the goal. I want to be a full-time author. Right now I'm in the red. But it's just about building, and I always tell people this kind of is life advice. If don't write for the money. There are easier ways to make money.
Yeah, we don't do
Right.
this for the money. That's 100% because
Yeah.
Dustin takes every ounce that I make. He then gives it to Daryl. Trey gets nothing. I don't know how we do any of this. I'm just kidding. Okay, so let me talk about Cursed. So Cursed is your first one. That's this book over here. Do you mind if I grab it?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so this is Cursed. It's got a handsome man on the front with a wolf. And I think you've talked to me about this one in the past. So tell me a little bit about Cursed, and is there more in than just this one book?
Yeah, definitely. So, Cursed is kind of a bildungsroman about, which is a coming of age story, about a 17-year-old. He was scratched by a werewolf 2 years ago, and so you kind of see both timelines as like what led up to that scratch, and then how his life changed after. It's really found family, and he's struggling within his own identity and learning, how to interact with his pack and his human friends and keep everything that he loves protected. And yeah, so Cursed is the first book in the series. It's a tetralogy, so there are 4 books, and then I also have ebooks that are like little short story novellas. I'm not sure how many of those are published because I've been writing a lot. I have 12 of them planned, and at least 6 are published, but I
Wow.
don't remember.
Yeah. So you do have an idea of that it's going to come to an end
Mhm.
and how it's going to end.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. So this was the first one, and so why was the reason? So what is this one called? This one's called
Powerless.
So
Mhm.
you have an idea for all of Cursed. Why did you? I guess my question is, why did you stop? Like, you didn't finish this one all the way to completion before you started doing another one.
Yeah.
Is that just because your mind's like, I got to write and I have this new idea? So you did Powerless. So is Powerless a series, or is this
Yep.
a one-off?
Yeah, so I do like the Cursed series is complete in that, the mainline books are done, and everything else is kind of like extra stories that deepen the world.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of the thing is once I this is my first book, or since high school.
Yeah.
And so I'm so attached to the world and the characters, and I don't know if it'll ever be done. I have a sequel trilogy plan that might come out in a decade.
Right. Okay.
So I kind of had to pick a point where I could say, like, all right, it's time to focus on something else. And Powerless, I did take one creative writing course in college, and Powerless actually started as an assignment for that course. So that's kind of that idea was with me too, and I wanted to get it out. It is a trilogy, and then I'm working again because I can't ever let a story die. I have
Right.
some prequels
So
I'm working
what
on.
is this? I don't know if you. What is this one about?
Oh, right. Powerless is a superpowered dystopia, is how I describe it. So
Okay.
the main character, Carson, is born without superpowers, and everybody else in the
Oh yeah,
world
you
has
told
them.
me, but I remember this storyline. But
Yeah,
continue.
yeah. Sure.
So everybody else
Okay.
can hear it too.
Yeah, so he discovers pretty early on, not a major spoiler here, that he does have some power that he can't explain. And the government is concerned because it doesn't line up with their structure.
Okay.
And so it kind of becomes this dystopia of him fighting against the government and trying to, correct the injustices he sees. So it's got that dystopia vibe. The really interesting part of Powerless is that it is about the characters, right? But it's also kind of about the world. And so the sequel, Boundless, takes place 5 years later. And
Is this
it's
a different series or is this Boundless?
This is a third
okay,
series,
cool,
yeah.
perfect. So then this one will be called Boundless.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I like it when the books kind of, where it's not like, I don't know if Cursed does this, but it's not like Cursed 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, where it's Powerless and then Boundless and then there's going to be another one. But
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So when does that one's out though?
Yep.
Boundless. Okay. And what's that one? That continue.
Yeah, that continues the story, and
Okay.
it's kind of the fallout and the aftermath of what happens in the first book, but it's 5 years later from a different character's perspective. And that character is kind of Carson's bully in the first book, and then you get to see how much more there is to him.
Got it.
And he's probably my favorite character I've ever written.
Yeah. Are any of the characters so far that you've written? Do you find you're putting yourself into them?
Yeah. There's a little piece of me in every person that I write. You know.
All right, let's talk about this one. So this is
Corporeal. Yeah.
Corporeal. That's why I need to go to college. I did go to college, but I still can't read. Corporeal. So what is this one about?
Yeah, Corporeal is my most recent book. It came out in October, and this one is a paranormal detective kind of like mystery.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So the main character's name is Aiden, and I really took to writing Aiden because he is not my other characters, right? Lance in Boundless is heroic nearly to a fault, right? And so I wanted to say, like, all right, what if I wrote somebody who's not? and Aiden is just a jerk. He's manipulative. He's like, you're not supposed to like him, but hopefully you do, right?
Right.
And his job, he's made a career of lying to people. So he doesn't believe in ghosts, but he's a paranormal investigator. So he tracks people's ghosts and exorcises them, and basically does. And this is where the engineering comes in a little bit, right? He'll fix their houses, and he'll do these little things
Oh,
that
nice.
that make them believe the ghost is gone, right? And so that's kind of his whole personality. And then of course he runs into a case that doesn't make any sense, and it questions his worldview and things like that. So
Yeah, so. There's going to be multiple. Are you just going to have these just be like different, I guess, detective stories throughout it, or are they going to
yeah,
Is it going to be like continuous throughout it, or what's this one going to be kind of like?
yeah. So the sequels, I mean, this is true of all of my series, but I especially say it with Corporeal because I don't know how long it's going to be before the sequel comes out. But I do make sure that every book is a story. It's standalone, and
So you could
you
like
know.
I could pick up Cursed and read it, and then if I liked it, I could be like I could like it, but then maybe life happens and I don't go read the second one. I'll still have felt like I completed it.
Yeah, like you
to some
still
extent.
got a finished story.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Corporeal's that way too. So it's almost like the first bit of it is a little bit like Monster of the Week. You know, it's like, oh, here's a couple chapters of him working on one case and then another case, and but you know, there's a through line where there's this bigger case that he's trying to
He's
solve.
trying to work it. Got it. Got
Yeah.
it. Got it. A few questions about the publishing. You'd mentioned that back when you 16, 17, when you did the first one, right?
Yeah.
And that was you said you went through hybrid publishing. Are these all ones that are self-published that
Yeah.
you've done now? So walk me through that process. How does someone go about doing the self-publishing, and how do you go about selling these? Are these like in bookstores, or what is that? How does that work?
Yeah, so that obviously there's a ton of nuance, right? Mine are available through bookstores, but they're not in bookstores. So like, if
What
you
does that mean?
yeah, if you go to barnesandnoble.com,
Okay.
you can find it and purchase it,
Got it.
and it'll get shipped to you, or it'll get shipped to a Barnes and Noble. But in order, this might be too in the weeds. Feel free
No,
to
go
stop
in the
me,
weeds.
but
We'll go in the
yeah.
weeds. We'll start a segment. Dustin, hold on. Hold 2 seconds. Dustin, go make a GIF right now that says "in the weeds." Get that up there in a few moments, and then push the GIF "in the weeds" out there, and we'll make a whole new segment called "In the Weeds." Can you do that right this moment? Okay. All right. Go in the weeds. So what?
Yeah.
Go in the weeds about it.
So, in order to be in most major bookstores like Barnes and Noble, you have to accept returns. And if you're
Okay.
doing print on demand through Amazon, you can't accept returns. Amazon doesn't do that.
Okay.
If you go through a different company called Ingram Spark, or there are plenty of others, these are the two I know. Ingram Spark will do returns, and so you can actually get in physical bookstores.
Okay.
And of course, there's more to it. There's different situations and things, but that's the general, broad strokes.
Okay.
And so I am actually looking into kind of doing a republish where I revamp the covers. Like the art is staying, but like, this doesn't pop. And so I'm looking at revamping it and then kind of republishing through Ingram.
So that you can get in the physical bookstore,
Yeah.
because that was what I was gonna say. But so in the physical books or in Ingram though, is that print on demand? Okay, so they can still do print on demand and then
Yeah.
print them and put them in the bookstore. So you don't have to go and buy like 9,000 books,
Right.
and then go around to the bookstores and put them in the actual bookstores.
Yeah, yeah.
So then the bookstores would reorder them to get them in there. Is that how that would work? And then the Ingram would print them and then put them into the store.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long? So that process. So you went through the hybrid publisher. That was a messy situation. It sounded like, or
Yeah,
not a messy, just not the way you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So what's the hybrid publisher? What does that mean?
Yeah. I have unique views on hybrid publishing that I have been scolded for.
Okay.
The thing is, the general advice is money should never flow from the author to the publisher.
Okay.
And I do, again, generally agree with that. So the publisher I worked with was not awful. They were what I needed at the time. I didn't know how to do any of this process, how to do cover art, editing, right? And these people helped me with that. So I paid an upfront fee, and then they did editing, cover art, and all of that. and then they helped with marketing, and I ended up making more money than I spent, and it was a good experience. But
So you were on the green on that one.
yeah,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, um, but and that's the thing, it hasn't happened since, right? So maybe there's something to it. But yeah, so like the general online consensus is that hybrid publishing is a scam, and I wouldn't say it's a scam. I would say know what you need and what you're getting, because yeah, they oftentimes will not help you with marketing.
Got it.
They won't. But like mine did. They really they did a good job.
Right, because if you're printing through Amazon then?
Yeah,
Okay, and they don't do any
they do
marketing.
nothing. Right.
Because we had an Amazon, we have multiple businesses, but one of them we have an Amazon store, and it's horrible. I'm not gonna lie, Amazon stores are horrible. So go with Ingram then, I guess, if that's the other one that you can do. But yeah,
And
so because then you have to pay for advertising, and then the cost of storage is we had a lot of stuff that we
Sure.
stored there, so it's a little bit different. And so I can definitely see that being a problem going through Amazon. Plus, Amazon does all kinds of stuff where Ingram, it sounds like they just do publishing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like their focus, and you can go through both.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm not gonna delist from Amazon. You have to buy your own ISBN and then register through both sites, and you're self-published on both platforms.
Got it.
So yeah, it's you don't have to pick and choose.
Yeah. So right now, for a few closing questions,
Sure.
I got three more. One is, how long does it take for you to write these books?
Yeah, it varies, obviously, right? This year I'm about to finish my 5th book this year, which
Wow.
has been a heavy lift, and I
Is
have.
it new or is it part of one of these?
So 3 of them are part of this. One of them's part of this, and then this is the 5th one.
Okay.
So I'm all over the place.
Oh, so this is the brand new.
Yep.
Oh, that you said this one was brand. So this is the one you just finished.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the one that you're trying to push
Yeah.
right now, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. It came out in October for spooky season.
Got it.
You know.
Oh, well, that makes sense. So where can people go and pick this up at?
Amazon or my website, brentmillerbooks.com, and
Cool.
they're all
So it's Brent
available.
Miller Books. Earlier I called it Brent Miller Publishing, and then I couldn't
Right.
remember if it was Brent Miller Books. Then I went back to Brent Miller Books.
Yeah.
So it's Brent Miller Books, and it's brentmillerbooks.com where they can purchase them all at right now.
Yeah.
Perfect. So are you going to start writing your next one then now?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the first draft of my next one.
And
So
and is that one part?
it's part of a series. It's part of this series.
Okay, so it's going to be. So which one was this? Powerless. So it's going to be the third one for.
4th one.
Oh, it'll be so Powerless and Boundless. What's the third one called?
So the 3rd one's Faultless.
Okay,
That's
so
my
this is
shirt.
the shirt for that.
Yep.
And then what's the fourth? Can you say the name of it yet?
Probably not.
Okay, we're not
I'm
going to say the
also-
name of it.
I'm also not supposed to say that I'm writing it because I'm keeping it a surprise from my family. They
Okay,
they don't know I've
fantastic.
started.
So if you know Brent Miller at the beginning, I guess they won't know about it until they get till here.
Right.
We're not
It's
going to
too
go.
late.
It's
Yeah.
too late at this point. So now you know.
Yeah.
And we announced it live on our show, Mercury. So I'm really excited about that. Okay. So hopefully your family doesn't see it. Don't tell them that you did this.
I'm
and
pretty
then
sure
they'll
we
never
posted
see it.
this on my page.
Oh, that's so now
Yeah, but,
okay.
you know,
it's okay. It's okay.
It's a cool way to find out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so they can find you on Amazon. They can find you at brentmillerbooks.com. And where can they find you on social media to go and follow
Yeah. So I don't know. My wife runs my social media accounts, and so I don't know all my handles. I do have like a link tree on my website.
you? Okay, so go to brentmiller.com. You'll find a link tree. Then you can find all the social media.
Yeah, and I've got TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So it's all in there. Or Facebook.
You born and raised in Tucson?
I was born and raised in Yuma,
Ah,
and I came here for college.
which is, you came to Tucson for
Yeah.
college?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, I'm pretty sure on the back it says University of Arizona.
Yeah,
Unless
Tucson.
you came up here and went to one of their, I guess, extended schools or whatever those are
Yeah.
called that they have up here. Well, that's awesome. Well, Brent, thank you so much. Any final thoughts for anybody that's wanting to get into writing or anything last things that you want to say?
No, I mean, I would say that if you want to get into writing, just write. That's all I've got. You know,
Yeah.
it sounds like hand wavy, but practice and just honing your art, and yeah, That's it.
Perfect. All right, well, everybody, stay tuned. We're going to have Sam from Thermo AZ come on in here and do some makeup. I'm going to see if I can get Jinx to actually do that interview. I'm not 100% sure if I can pull Jinx away from her table. But again, you are watching Age of Radio Mercury, your home for podcasting and pop culture news. We are live here at Foothills Library at 55th Avenue and Union Hills in Glendale, Arizona at their LibCon West. And I have just completed an amazing an amazing interview with Brent Miller. Make sure that you follow him or go to BrentMillerBooks.com. Buy all of his book. He's got Cursed. He's got Powerless. He's got Corporeal. I'm never going to Corporeal. Corporeal. I said it right that time. I need to go and learn how to read and read all of his books, and then I'll be able to say it. So go and check out BrentMillerBooks.com. And as I always say, be thankful, grateful, and kind. And we'll talk with you soon. Bye.